Let's go back to Romans 1, verse 18. Now, for the wrath of God is revealed from heaven. I thought that was interesting. Here the Apostle Paul's talking about the gospel of Christ and the power of God, and he's talking about the wrath of God. Why is he bringing the wrath of God in this conversation? Because he's making, again, these distinctions between the consenter and the protester. Those which protest don't live by faith, but those which consent are those which live by faith. Those which live by faith don't have to worry about the wrath of God. Now, the wrath of God is openly revealed, and is still openly revealed today. Right? The four horsemen are real busy. For the wrath of God, God openly shows his displeasure at the choices of the sinner. And he openly does this with war, famine, and plagues, as the four horsemen. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness, those which are fruitless trees, and unrighteousness, because those which are fruitless trees continually transgress the scale of God's holiness. They transgress the scale of holiness by honoring the wicked. You notice the world honors the achievements of the wicked. That's an offense against the scale of God's holiness. When the sinners rejoice in the glory of their own boasting, the wrath of God is soon to follow. And we have seen it again and again and again, over and over and over. And yet the wicked, in their trance of death, refuse to awake themselves. The guilt is pricking them to slap them awake, so that by awaking they can receive grace. And by receiving that grace, they can remove themselves from Satan's snares of ignorance. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness, those that substitute God's power with their own glory, concerning ungodliness, unrighteousness of men, the logic of man, who hold the truth of God in righteousness, because they make their principle a truth, and as a standard and their scale for others to comply to. This is for their peace and security, or peace and safety.